box.
Hello and welcome to Con Air, the podcast. I am Mark, Police Motorcycle Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay, Kiss and a Joke Fluid. Welcome you aboard Con Air, the podcast for chapter 37. On this show, Mark and I fly away through Con Air scene by scene with some wonderful guests. And it's scene 37. What happens in chapter 37 of Con Air? Well, the jailbird has landed and the survivors disembark. Poirot helps Bishop up and reassures Baby O before he is loaded into an ambulance.
And back to life in prison.
Yeah, Larkin counts up the cons, but cannot account for Cyrus, who, along with Diamond Dog and Swamp Thing, has escaped through the pinball hatch. A deceased Johnny 23 is removed from the plane, whilst his attached arm remains chained up. Bishop thanks Poe with a peck on the cheek. Skip Devers and Ginny help Trisha and Casey down from the helicopter, but Poe and Larkin spot Cyrus atop a departing fire truck as they commandeer two police motorcycles and prepare to pursue. So we need a guest to help us talk with this. We need a guest who requested a Monica Potter chapter, and the next one is already claimed, and she is in this one for like half a second, so this counts. Joining us from Friendship Sunday is Jessica Manzo-Kyte. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hi, welcome. Welcome. You're supposed to say welcome.
You are welcome.
I'm supposed to say thank you for having me.
But we're welcome to your world.
Yes, thank you for welcoming us.
And I guess my Con Air nickname would be Jessica the Messica.
Sure, that counts. Yeah, that works.
Oh, I like that. Jessica the Messica.
The Maryland Messica.
That's like in We Summon the Darkness, the Dario's character's Reckless Alexis. That's like a good nickname.
I
like that. Yeah. And Johnny Knoxville gave her it. That's a random nickname for that. Jessica Messica. That's a whole lot better than the Capricious Slaughterer that I've come up with.
That's Mark's favorite one.
No, just annoying everybody. Mark the Capricious Slaughterer Hoffmeyer.
It's yet to catch on.
Just troll people with it. That's it. So you're Monica Potter. I remember her from Head Over Heels back in the day with Freddie Prinze. You're a big Monica, but you watch Parenthood.
Saying I'm a big Monica Potter fan is definitely an overstatement.
Wait, that poster behind you says otherwise.
Right? Yeah. I didn't think you could see that.
You're a Monica Pothead.
I was a fan of Parenthood after it already was done airing. I watched it when it was streaming, but I really got into that show, and Monica Potter is great in it. And she wasn't even necessarily one of my favorite characters, but you don't see her doing, like, I don't know, I just haven't seen many of her like younger roles, I would say. So when I saw that she was in this, I was just excited to watch her do something besides Parenthood. So it was more so that I was just interested in seeing, her doing something other than Parenthood.
Got it. Have you watched Patch Adams?
I did see Patch Adams when I was younger, but I didn't even remember that was her in it. So that's how big of a Monica Pothead I am. So
that's it. You commented on one of the Instagram posts which had a picture on, like, is that Monica Potter? I was like, yeah. So you had no idea. You hadn't seen this film at that point. It's like, what is? You're gonna have to have Jess on for a Monica Potter chapter. It's certain. But yeah, I didn't realize it was her in Patch Adams or her in Saw. I think that's the other two films that I've seen her in. I just know her as.
Oh yeah, and Saw, of course, Saw. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, oh, cool, Monica Potter. And you obviously delivered. I mean, she's in for a non-zero amount of this
You're
scene.
welcome.
But
I mean, she's not a huge. She's like the goal of the film rather than a huge part of it.
Yeah.
She's a presence. She's a relevant character, but she's not in the thick of it. This is as close as she ever gets to being in the thick of it, where she's nearby to things going on.
I'm just so happy they didn't kidnap her and the daughter. That would have just been ridiculous. Like at the end of Speed, when Dennis Hopper gets Sandra Bullock, like in this one, Cyrus is like, "Oh, there she is," but I don't know who she is, but I just figure it out. And then he takes him the daughter and Monica Potter on the fire.
Turns out Skip Devers has been a bad guy the whole time, and he's working with Cyrus.
Why is Cyrus on the top of the fire truck? Because Swamp Thing's driving it. Swamp Thing's driving it, correct?
Yes, Swamp Thing's driving. We see in the next chapter, Swamp Thing's driving. Diamond Dog's on the back, and Cyrus is on top up on the ladder. A ridiculous place to be.
Why aren't they in the cab?
Because that wouldn't look as cool.
Yeah, you're right. Cyrus isn't smart. We've learned that about. Actually, Jay, makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, so in the script, there's a fair few changes between the script and the scene in this one. Where in the script they don't spot Cyrus on top of the fire truck. They spot a fire truck, one fire truck going the other way, like being a salmon swimming upriver, and bashing cars out the way, and firemen being thrown off of the truck, which makes sense. That makes more sense than, oh, hey, Malkovich is riding on top of that fire truck, a normal place for him to be when he's trying to hide in the one place in the world people are looking for him. So, but it's got to be a visual film decision of how can I show that they spot him quickly,
and what a visual it is. Like, sure. I just instantly cracked up. Like, ridiculous.
He looks quite lithe on top of that fire truck too. I've never seen Malkovich he looks like almost a free runner up there. I've never seen him do much squatting or running. So seeing him up there making some quick movements, I enjoyed it. Like, this is a quick moving.
Get up.
What?
We didn't see him get up there. We see him kind of just about get out of the bottom of the plane.
I guarantee you just jump to the top. One jump.
He's not got Mario super jump. Okay. Got a double jump going on.
Well, the weird thing you don't know about that scene is that John Cusack was really in his brain, in John Malkovich's brain the whole time. So
of course.
People don't know that, but that was in the script. In the second script. He's
controlling? Wait, and then who's in Cusack?
He's being John Malkovich.
Yeah, so is he being both? Can you be both at the same time? Has he leveled up? Is someone in John Cusack's brain? Is Cameron Diaz in John Cusack's brain?
Sure.
I think so.
And Catherine Keener's in her brain. And I've run out of cast members from the film. Charlie Sheen's in there.
Spike Jonze in there somewhere. So yeah.
Have five people already made this joke before me?
I mean, we had the guy from
no, John you're the first one
minute on, and he didn't make it. So.
Yeah. No, you did it. Wow. So he's been controlled. That's why he did it. That's why he's been making all these bad decisions, Jay, is because Cusack's in his brain and Cameron Diaz is in Cusack's brain.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Larkin has been not a dumb guy this whole way through. I mean, he's made some poor decisions in terms of the entire plot of the film. But like sticking the cons on the plane. But I don't think maybe he's just not experienced of being a bad guy. And that's his problem. He's trying to do bad guy things. He's a good guy, and it's not working out. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm more confused now.
That tracks.
I did find it very a humorous visual as well to see John Cusack just like counting around the like massive people and being like, 1, 2, 5, 10. Yeah, they're all there. They're all accounted for. Like,
yeah, and he doesn't know who's been killed.
Well, doesn't he? Because he's clearly consulting his Con Air prisoner spreadsheet, the same one that I have, which is where everyone is at this point. I think we have to assume he's been keeping track. So the only people he doesn't know where they are, I think, are Billy Bedlam, because he knows the ones who got on and off the plane. He could maybe assume that Benson, Carls, and Popovich are still alive, but had some kind of trade-off and managed to stay on, and they sent off Falzone, the pilot, and the other guy instead. So Benson, Carls, Popovich, Billy Bedlam, Garland Green, the 3 on the fire truck, and Conrad are the ones that he can't, and the 2 that were left at Lerner Airfield. So Con number 1 and Ramirez.
I mean, that one guy's smashed too. That one guy's just blown up. Like, I don't think he saw him get blown up, right? Like, how do you identify him?
That's true. Yeah, the other 2 that died at the airport, I guess, Mongoose and Ajax.
Yeah, they're blown up.
Yeah,
eviscerated.
And he knows what happened to Sindino. He knows what happened to Pimble.
Yeah.
The ones who got off, Old Con, Donald, Londell, Watts, he knows where they are. So he's doing his head count, and he's presumably looking for Cyrus, because Cyrus is the main bad guy. But by the end of the film, we know what happens there. Does he keep looking? Has he got like another half a dozen people he's got to try and track down?
Yeah. But they're all.
Poe can help him out. Poe can okay. Benson, Carls, Popovich, they got killed in the plane. I can tell you that much.
3 gone.
Poe doesn't know about Mongoose and Ajax and on number 1 and Ramirez. He doesn't know where they are. Conrad disappeared. He's not in this head count. I think when Bishop is getting up on the plane, Conrad's the Jesse's like one of the B team of the cons. He's not like in the major like Garland Green something, etc. But he's like the bald guy who spits at guards at one point. He's like a featured extra essentially. I think we see him get up behind Bishop, but then he's not in the head count. So maybe he got off. Maybe he got out. I don't know. I don't understand how. Maybe he followed Cyrus and they drove off in the fly truck before he could get on.
Or he followed Garland and they're playing craps together.
Sure. That could work, yeah.
He's going to be busy. Con Air 2 Bounty Hunter.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, for five episodes on it.
Yeah,
why didn't they do like a tie-in with U.S. Marshals too?
Oh. So wait, we would end up with Joey Pants, Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley Snipes. That'd be amazing. Put them all together. U.S. Air Marshals.
That's the three cast members I could name as well.
I like U.S. Air Marshals.
I do too. That's good. I like it.
Hey, John Pogue, the director of Deep Blue Sea, wrote.
He wrote U.S. Marshals. Yeah.
And also, I saw that she was in Monica Potter was in 3 episodes of Goliath, which stars
with
Dr.
20 Ones.
Yeah,
from Deep Blue Sea 3. Yeah.
A lot of connections here, Jessica.
Oh,
not to this film.
To intrigue.
The other stuff we've done.
Okay, so why do you think he's up on top of this fire truck? Just so they can see him and know that they're like for audiences to be like, oh, okay, he's on. But what's his motivation?
Yeah.
Do you reckon he wants to be chased?
No.
Do you reckon he's trying to get Cusack and Poe to mad at him so we can kill him? He hates them.
That would be better if he was doing like put his thumbs on like his temples and then like get his fingers up in the air like a moose and go. Yeah.
Well, because the last thing we saw him doing was saying to Poe that he was trying to kill Poe and little Casey was gonna last thing she was gonna smell with his stinking breath. So he's still possibly trying to kill Poe, but in a way that he also gets free. So I think he's looking for Poe, wants Poe to chase him, and he's confident enough to be like, I want a fire truck, I'm going to kill this guy. Which he tries to do. So I think this is an act of war. This is come get me.
That tracks. That's a good.
Or
that's
if
really
nothing
good.
else, it's just a taunt. Like, I'm getting away. F you guys. Like, you didn't get me.
Just flicks him off. Double flicks him off.
Do you feel like maybe Larkin and Poe are like misplacing their energies here? Like, I know the 3 they're going after are probably, if they escape, would go on to do some bad things. But why is no one specifically trying to find Garland Green? Like,
they haven't seen him. I guess they're dealing with a problem they can see.
That's a good point. He's number 1, right? Garland Green's number 1.
He's the one who was like fully locked up when they put him in there. He wasn't just in a cage. He was in a cage and a straitjacket and a mask. He's the problem.
Wow.
We don't have a personal vendetta against him, so we can just let him escape.
He's just freaked us out a bunch.
What do you think Cyrus would do if both Larkin and Poe looked at him driving away and they just waved, like, get out of here? They're like, we got to find Garland Green, y'all. And so everyone's like, look for Garland Green. He wears heads driving through states.
Okay.
We love think about that.
We love how Cyrus goes out in this film. Wonderful villain death. We'll talk about it next week. But what if instead it was a Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park kind of thing, where he gets in the truck, he turns, and Garland Green's next to him, and we see the fire truck start rocking.
Does that happen to Swamp Thing or to Cyrus?
And I mean, presumably Garland Green's already wearing Swamp Thing's head as a hat at that point. So he then the fire truck starts rocking, and then we see later on Garland back at the casino table. He's taken everyone out. Bloody mouth.
I want that now.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been so satisfying.
The entire fire truck just starts shaking
because
Cyrus is getting mauled limb from limb from a feral Buscemi.
Who still has the big neck frill of the dinosaur.
He borrowed a costume that gives him a frilly neck.
Yes, an Elizabethan kind of costume. He's got the big neck frills.
Where would that be? Is there a London
Las Vegas
casino?
Tudor costume? Sure. Yeah. There'll be some kind of themed casino, I'm sure.
That is amazing. They go in there and it's just remember in Cabin in the Woods when all the blood just the entrails and the elevator shaft, and it's just horrifying and bloody and all the guts. They open up the cab door, and that's just the three of them.
He turns on the fire truck hose, and it's blood coming out somehow. Somehow.
That would really resolve one of my other like questions or gripes about this scene too. Because obviously this was going to happen. But Cameron Poe, several times throughout the movie, he could have gotten himself out of the situation and home to his poor wife and daughter who have sacrificed years of their life because he had to get into a stupid bar fight.
Sure.
And you're like, okay, but he's trying to rescue his buddy. He's trying to protect this guard. There's valor in that. Now he is literally going after three men yet again out of a sense of like, oh, I can't let these guys get over on me. So he has to personally follow these guys when his wife and daughter are right there. And there are like police officers, agents everywhere that could be going after the bad guys now. He doesn't need to do that.
All they have to do is point. Like,
well, okay, two points. 2 points. He doesn't know Trisha and Casey are there, so that's not on his mind track. And two, for all we know, the direction he's going in after Cyrus is towards Trisha and Casey. Maybe that's the same direction.
And like, also, Cyrus did threaten him, Jay. Your daughter is going to smell my breath. So maybe he's like, if I don't kill this dude, they're going to find me later. Because Cyrus the Virus he makes great plans, but he's a terrible improviser.
He's just said to Bishop that he's got a birthday party to get to. Presumably, that birthday party is in Arizona. And we know for a fact, because of what time sunset was, it's already after like 8:30 p.m. He's got 3.5 hours to drive or to travel from Vegas to Arizona. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to, like, if he goes by like official methods, they're going to want to debrief him. They're going to want to know, what happened? Yeah, he's got to get out of
Where's Garland Green?
Yeah, exactly. What happened here? We get it. You want to say Baby O, but what about all the other? There's like 8 other cons we can't find. Where are they? Stay, paperwork. You'll see your family in like 2 to 3 working days. So he needs to get out of there. So he grabs the first transport he can see, which is a police motorcycle. They're pretty quick.
And he goes back to jail for stealing a police motorcycle. He's on parole.
That's a future problem. He's going to get home to his wife and kids and then go back to prison for their 8 years. We'll see Casey when she's 60.
It was worth it. No,
I didn't think about the fact that he may have just coincidentally been heading in the same direction that the fire was going in.
I do have to say, in '97, when I watched this, John Cusack was one of my favorite actors on the planet. He really was. And Nicolas Cage was one of mine as well, one of my favorite actors. And seeing the two of them, who I was unaccustomed to them doing action movies, get on police motorcycles together and take off to battle John Malkovich and Ving Rhames, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, that's probably one of my favorite visuals. It's like watching Nicolas Cage and John Cusack, two very, what's the word, like character acting, dramatic, dramatic. Like, you don't associate them with that. I'm like, and then they're getting on police motorcycles together to fight crime. That was probably one of my happiest moments of '97.
Well, one of my favorite visuals from this scene is still Malkovich, his head just popping out the bottom of the plane. I think just the fact that the camera lingers on him for a moment, but he it's a very comedic, like, it's very like Edgar Wright, the comedy of things moving into the frame kind of thing. It's this Malkovich head popping down from above.
I just wish I just love that image in that scene.
But then I can't help but feel like they're prone, like army crawling along the like tarmac and rubble and broken glass and debris, and their forearms they're in no good shape, to be honest. And we don't see Swamp Thing get out of the plane, but we see him crawling along. And I feel bad for MC Gainey having to crawl across that rough terrain.
Would you rather do this or do what Andy Dufresne did?
Oh, probably this.
Shawshank Redemption.
It's a much shorter distance and far less fecal matter involved. So I'm going to go with this one.
Yeah.
So,
well, this one, but narrated by Morgan Freeman.
so Mark, what you were saying about like all these actors being in this movie. So I wasn't an adult when this came out, but was it like seen as like a pretty like who's who of a cast at the time, or is it just in retrospect now that we're like, holy shit, like so many people are in this movie?
And like this was a who's who, because in '94, what Michael T. Williamson was blowing up from Heat and Forrest Gump. Like he was big news at the time. Nicolas Cage was coming off of his Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas, and he had done The Rock. Like he was huge. Buscemi was in, Buscemi was popping up in Desperado, films. Fargo. Like he was kind of blowing up at the time. Then you had Ving Rhames off of Pulp Fiction and Get Shorty. Like he was a big name. Yeah, John Cusack, was in the midst of like what Grosse Pointe Blank, and like he was like really doing like he was crushing it. Also, Renoli Santiago, who plays Sally Can't Dance, was coming off of Hackers, Dangerous Minds. And so I was watching this movie and everybody kept popping up. I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is big. Rachel,
like Cole Meany from Star Trek.
Yeah, and Rachel Ticotin, but she was from Total Recall. Ticotin from Total Recall. I was like, whoa. Like it was, I wasn't, because this is like Bruckheimer and Michael Bay had been around for a while. They made Days of Thunder and a few other movies, but and they always put really good character actors in these movies. But I think at 15, I didn't notice all the character actors in Beverly Hills Cop and Top Gun when I was 12 or 10. But at 15, this is when I really started noticing all the character actors in Bruckheimer productions. Like such a deep bench of actors in these movies. So I think that's probably the first. Like Waingro was killed in the rain fight in the beginning. The dude from Heat, who's such a dirtbag in that movie. And so the whole time you're like, no, Waingro's here. You're like Hackers. Like you're like, freak from Hackers is in this. Like it was. People told me to shut up. No, I'm joking. Like Mark, we know who they are. Stop.
But no, we're trying to watch the film.
This was loaded. It really was.
Yeah.
Like and I think The Rock and Face Off had so many character actors popping up in them. So yeah, everyone was, for an action movie that as silly as this one is, it has a deep bench.
Yeah.
And those are all the films that I first saw all these people in. Like I first saw this, I was 10 when it came out, so I didn't see it in cinema, but I would have seen this like 13, 14. So like this, Armageddon, Face Off, all those kind of films that have all these actors in smaller roles. That's where I know him from. Like to me, Steve Buscemi has always been like, oh, the crazy guy on Transport, like in Space Dementia. Like that's where I know him from. And I just like he's actually in like serious stuff. I go back and watch those and have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, I started watching every movie that came out probably when I was about 10. So I knew all the R-rated stuff. Like so I was familiar with Reservoir Dogs like at 11. I remember thinking there was way too many swear words. I'm like, I remember thinking to myself like, this is too much for me. I remember feeling that way
too many times.
But then I kept watching it. Like, but I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm here. So yeah, it was just odd. Because action stars at the time for me, it was only a few. I feel like it was Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Keanu hadn't become a super action star yet, and JCVD, Steven Seagal. So you just look at like, you think of the same 8 action characters. So then watching John Cusack get on a motorcycle with Nick Cage, it really like blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's beautiful.
That is cool.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's the most lucid I've ever been on Con Air, the podcast. So thank you, Jessica, for asking a really insightful question from me. That was great.
It is just fun, like seeing this, because, we didn't say this at the top. Well, I didn't say this at the top, but I had never seen this before. And I really didn't know much about it. Like, I knew that it was about a plane jacking, but I honestly didn't even know that the premise was that it was like transporting prisoners. Like, I kind of thought maybe it was like some prisoners that were on like a other plane or something, like a commercial plane. So I really was discovering this movie pretty much from top to bottom.
Tell us
They're
about
describing turbulence with Ray Liotta.
Tell us about your experience.
So, well, besides Nick Cage being in it, I didn't know anyone else that was in it. Like, no one. So it was really
Monica Potter. You knew Monica Potter was there.
Oh, and Monica Potter, of course, Monica Potter, and which I only knew because of this podcast.
Sure.
To be fair, so it was really fun seeing, the depth of all the actors and everything. The movie itself, it was definitely a fun ride. It is very, I was laughing a lot through it, and I don't know if it was like in a similar way to Face Off. Like there's just so many like ridiculous things that happen, and I don't know how intentional it was to be like laugh out loud at certain points. Like I'm sure they wanted it, they inserted some, humorous visuals on purpose. But I did really enjoy the movie overall, and it was just very 90s. Very 90s. The music especially felt very 90s. And the How Do I Live Without You? Like that was like the first time when that started playing where I started laughing, because I was like, this is so just like Armageddon. Like so many movies during that time period just had like a song that was like the ballad of the movie kind of thing. So that part was fun to me. And like in this scene, the part where like Nick Cage has his like hero shot where he like rolls over and you're like, obviously he's not dead, but like he rolls over and the music like picks up and he's in his like white tank top and light blue jeans and his crazy ass hair. I'm like, this is so 90s. It couldn't be at another time.
And what do you think
about
I
get up every day? It's just that slow turn, kind of limping, hunched over, stiff and sore. It's me every morning.
And a bloody tank top?
Yeah. I need to change my alarm clock to be that like da, da, of the score when he gets up. That's gonna be my alarm tomorrow.
What did you think about Jack Nick Cage? Just like he's like just a piece of rebar in this movie. What like knowing him like I'm sure I know you've probably watched a decent amount of Nicolas Cage movies, but like what do you think about rebar Nicolas Cage in this? Did it catch you off guard a little bit?
I feel like I've seen him do so many different things at this point that I was just like, oh, this is another just like Nick Cage like look. Like that combined with the long hair, it definitely striked a certain look that was very this like you could see that his look in this and be like, oh, that's him in Con Air. Like you would instantly know like that's what that was from.
Yeah, he's not The Rock. He doesn't look the same in every film. He has
That's a really good point. So you shouldn't be surprised if he looks different in a movie, because he always looks different in his movies. Kick-Ass to Joe, that's a totally different Nicolas Cage. Yeah. And then you go to Mandy. That's a really good point. And
or like Moonstruck, he's like kind of scrawny in that. Like
yeah. His 80s face. No, in Birdie he was huge. So he bounced all over the place. He went from really
He's like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Buff, skinny, buff, skinny, buff.
Okay, before I forget.
Exactly the same.
I want you to rank these songs. Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. All right. The Titanic song. What is it?
The Titanic song.
Not Falling Slowly. It's
yes,
I'll Be Here in Your Arms. No, that's Tarzan.
Ben Hansen did the Titanic song. Of course.
What's the name of it? I'll Be in Your Arms. No, that's what this Tarzan again. What's the name of the Titanic song?
My Heart Will Go On.
Okay, yeah. So Iris, My Heart Will Go On. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. The one from this song, How Do I Live? And what's another power ballad from 97?
Oh, the one from Robin Hood. I do it for you.
Yeah, all right, everything I do it for you.
Oh, and wait,
and Kiss from a Rose. So those 6.
Sure, yeah. What's Iris from?
The other Nicolas Cage, the Angel movie with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, City of Angels.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. Okay.
I was like, that was huge. Well, Jay, Iris is
everywhere. I know the song. I just don't know what film it's from.
Got it.
Kiss from a Rose is number 1, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Titanic for me is number 2.
Trisha Yearwood, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, the Prince of Thieves song, and we had one more. Iris.
Everything I Do, I think, is number 3 for me. Because that's a good one, I think. I could belt that.
It was number one. It was number one for 17 years. It never left it. It felt like
Iris was definitely big for me when that came out. Like I was like, that is love. That is what love is.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I was like, "Ooh, that's emotions." So that I'll put that as number 4, and then How Do I Live is number 5. And for me, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is going to be last. But that one, that is, I can belt that too. I don't know. These are all good songs to sing in the car.
I love that you said that too, because whenever a Goo Goo Dolls song comes on in the car, I'm singing. Like, if Here Is Gone,
they have more than one song.
Iris, Black Balloon, Slide.
No. Dude, you're making things
so
up.
So many good songs.
They have one song, Mark. What are you talking about?
I was listening to Everclear the other day. One of their first albums. They had some pretty dark stuff.
They don't have albums. Ridiculous.
Don't get me started on Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones. I listen. Okay, quick story. I was in a 1990s cover band called Johnny Party and the Furious Funksters, and I really wanted to sing Mr. Jones, and my entire band vetoed me from singing it. They're like, Mark, you can't do that.
Why?
I'm not a good singer. So like I could do Damn It by Blink-182. I could do, like more like heavier, like pop punk songs. But a song like that, oh man, we saved the audience from a lot of confusion.
They were trying to save you from trying to hit those high notes.
Oh, Mr. Maybe I should have done it. It would have made everyone laugh.
Yeah, Mark, you should always be singing Mr. Jones. I love the Counting Crows.
And here's the thing: whenever I couldn't hit a high note during every show, I would just put the mic out to the audience because I was like, I can't hit this song from Smells Like Teen Spirit or Say It Ain't So. So I'll just put the mic out, and everyone else would sing it. We would go on at like 1:30 a.m. when everyone was bombed, so it didn't matter.
You do a Bee Gees song and just have the mic of the audience the whole time.
Come on, guys.
I can't hit any of these notes.
Yeah, if I ever time travel, that's where I'm going. Is to one of your 90s cover band shows, because I'd love to see that.
I don't know, a pep talk like, Mark, you should do it. Sing Mr. Jones. Look at the beautiful women.
Just incept that idea, and that's what the entire movie of Inception is. They put that idea into my bandmates' heads that I sing Mr. Jones at.
It would have killed
at Big Daddy's. I wore like red pearl snap shirts, and then I had like a mohawk. Yeah, it was great. But then I shaved the mohawk and people didn't like it. And I kind of went into like a biker phase with sleeveless shirts. It was weird.
So like Nick Cage, you had looks for different years.
Yeah, when the mohawk left, I think we kind of went down. Because the whole gimmick, I think, was the mohawk. I lost confidence. I was like Jermaine in the Hippopotamus versus the Rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros, yeah.
Attempts to freestyle. He loses confidence. That was me without my mohawk in this. Yeah. Listen, please get please time travel and be like, so you were able to time travel. What'd you pick?
What did you do?
Any event in the world. I went back to Tallahassee in 2005 and I watched a band called Johnny Party and the Furious Funksters play some 90s covers. Like that's.
Oh, it was in Tallahassee. They were okay.
Yeah.
It was in I'm out then. I can't go to Tallahassee. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, no. So what are you going to use your time travel for then?
I guess kill Hitler or something like that.
It's like, yeah.
Wow. I want this movie now. John Cusack.
I have one button. I have 2 buttons. I can either go back and kill like a horrible figure from history, or I can go see your 90s cover band. It's a 50-50 shot. Whichever one I'm going to pick at the time.
I mean, think about it. The butterfly effect. You would really drastically change the world if you killed Hitler. Like who knows where anybody would be right now. I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't be here.
And if I went and saw your band and I encouraged you to do Mr. Jones, then you would be like the end of Hot Tub Time Machine right now.
I would have no arm because Kristen Glover. Is that what you're saying?
No, you would have gone on to like create your own rock band and be famous and rich.
Like Lugal.
Like Lugal, yeah.
Didn't he invent Lugal instead of Google?
He invented a bunch of things.
And he stole a bunch of Van Halen songs.
Yeah.
so I could be famous. And I wouldn't even
That
know
seems
it.
like a safer option
I feel like
than altering all of history in mankind.
if you let me sing that song, though, I feel like it would be the end of 12 Monkeys when that guy unleashes the virus and Bruce Willis can't stop him. Like, I feel like that's what you would be starting if you let me perform Mr. Jones. Like, that's where the world would be right now. You would be
The world just spins off its axis into the sun.
Yeah, you would be time traveling right now with Brad Pitt, and he would be eating his fingernails. Like, that's what the world would be, and there'd be giraffes running around. Like, that's what the world. It would be chaos. So I want to see it.
So Jess, don't do it. Don't. You shouldn't do this by the sounds of things.
Just go back in time and watch Deep Blue Sea in the theater, or The Lighthouse again in the theater. Just watch it again. Count all the farts.
I'll go back and not say that one thing that I still think about that I said, but no one else remembers that I ever said it. And then I can live in peace.
You only have one of those. Wow, that's an impressive life. I envy you.
Man,
I've done many of those on podcasts.
I could do a long December. I could do that, or I could do Accidentally in Love. Maybe. But not Mr. Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, real quick. So, Newfound Glory. They have From the Screen to Your Stereo, volumes 1 through 3. Have you heard of it? They do pop punk covers of songs from like Karate Kid and Back to the Future. So if you're in a Newfound Glory on Spotify or whatever, look up From the Screen to Your Stereo. They have really fun covers of really popular songs from movies.
Your recommendation? I've downloaded them all, but haven't listened to them.
Yes.
Do they cover How Do I Live Without You?
Yeah. That's
really?
in the first. Wait, no. I mixed that up with the Aerosmith song. They haven't covered that one. What's the Aerosmith song? I don't want to miss a thing. They did that one, but no.
Sure.
You know about the two people singing that song, right? Trisha Yearwood and
the other one.
Yeah, the other
Leanne
lady,
Rimes.
Leanne Rimes. Do you know about that story?
I guess not. I mean, I know who they are as singers, but if there's a specific story, then I don't know.
Yeah. So they both recorded the song. Trisha Yearwood won the Grammy for it, but Leanne Rimes performed on that song, and she sold millions of copies, and it became one of the highest selling songs of all time.
How does that happen?
Because they heard Leanne Rimes sing it, and they're like, she's too young, she's 15, she doesn't have any soul. Let's go get Trisha Yearwood to sing it, because she's a woman, she knows. So they had her sing it. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what they said. But then Leanne Rimes was more popular, but Trisha Yearwood's won the Grammy. Same song.
I saw it was nominated for an Oscar too,
yes.
But I didn't check to see what it lost against. Oh wait, wasn't this the same year as Titanic?
It was the Titanic, yeah. So that's why it lost.
You can't lose.
That's a tough one. She didn't stand a chance.
No. Maybe if I sang it, it would have stood a chance.
You had the soul at 15 to sing that.
Yeah, unlike Leanne Rimes, I could have belted that song out.
Would you have done like a pop punk cover? Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't be a cover, I guess. It'd just be a pop punk version.
Yeah, pop punk version of it. Yeah. I love pop punk, and I love covers. There's some good Taylor Swift covers floating out there. Just want to let y'all know.
So Jess, you've landed on a lucky chapter. Actually, everything. One of the things we've planned to on this show is every time we lose a con, we need to determine what it is they did. And this is the last time we see two of the convicts, Viking and Carlos. I think it is Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the lineup being counted by Larkin. We haven't determined what they do yet. So now you get to help us decide what these guys did.
What did Viking do, Jessica? What do you think?
Viking's the tall blonde guy who's like, that's a rock. So what's that? That's a rock. Who's that guy?
What did he do to end up in prison?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bear in mind, these are the worst of the worst. So it's got to be something bad.
I can see him being like a henchman, like a luggish henchman for someone who's like an actual like criminal, like mastermind, maybe not mastermind, but I don't see him calling the shots. He seems more like
Absolutely.
he's like the brute force kind of guy. So maybe he, took some people out in service of his employer.
Ooh.
Sure. So he's like a assassin henchman kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, assassin sounds fancy for him.
He's not
You
Michael
know.
Shannon in the Iceman.
I think it's more like, hey, go beat that guy up. And then he just goes and beats that guy up, but he kills him, much like Nicolas Cage at the beginning of this movie.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. And the other guy is Carlos, who is the guy next to him. Yeah, the guy next to him in the lineup between him and Sally Can't Dance, who has done less than Viking. He's just kind of been present this whole time.
I can't even picture his face.
Mark, what did Carlos do?
Okay, well, so that's Emilio Rivera, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so what did Carlos do? He's one of the worst of the worst.
Yes.
Let's see. He's one of the worst who says that. What did he didn't have a nickname, did he?
For all we know, Carlos is his nickname, and his real name's Fred.
So, okay, so Carlos, maybe he got that from.
He lost a car.
Carlos? Oh no! Wait. Who's is there a Carlos?
Very tired.
Seems like a hitman. He does. I don't know. Yeah, he's an actual hitman. I like that. And he just got caught. And he killed a ton of people.
Well, he's about to be in Flamin' Hot, Fritos snack story. He's like high build in that. So maybe he killed somebody with Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
There it is. Yes, I like that. He killed someone with. I mean, they're quite sharp.
I've never had one, so I don't know.
Have you like a dense Frito? No, Frito or Cheeto? Cheeto. A dense Cheeto could do some damage.
A dense Cheeto is the title of this episode. So,
yeah. If I was in Hot Shots Part 2 and I had to pick a weapon to like a food to fight with on my knuckles, I would definitely pick Cheetos.
Are you sure it's not like in 7, like he doesn't like make people eat flaming hot Cheetos until they perish?
How many would that take?
How many Cheetos would you have to eat?
How flaming hot are they?
Are they?
I've never had one.
Maybe
I've never had a flaming hot Cheeto. So
I don't enjoy them. I don't.
They're not that hot. I mean, they're hot. You couldn't handle it, Jay.
God, thanks. Okay.
What if he put some Dave's Insanity sauce on it? He puts some Dave's Insanity sauce on flaming hot Cheetos and feeds people that. They could make 8 with that movie, the sequel to 7, about a guy who just flaming hot Cheetos people. So that's it, Jay.
Sorry, I just need to go back in this. I've had spicier food since we last worked together, Jess. I had Scotch bonnet sauce on my fish finger sandwich yesterday.
Did you like it?
Yes. I'm getting older. My palate is deteriorating.
Are you eating your vegetables?
No, ridiculous. I eat all the vegetables I prepare, which is just none. No, scurvy on the.
You're not a veg guy.
Times. No.
I do a salad. I almost do a salad every day. I love veg.
I have never eaten a salad.
I love salad. Yeah, almost every night I eat a salad.
I don't understand how people can look at a salad and approach it as a means of food. I don't know where you would begin. I don't know how you would ingest. It doesn't. I don't understand.
Tomatoes. You get some salmon, some chicken.
Don't even start on tomatoes with Jay, because Jay and I have been through this.
We have. It's a song. Firstly, they're tomatoes.
I'm big into tomatoes.
I love tomatoes.
I had some the other day. I didn't like them. We ordered a pizza and they came with tomatoes on it, the little ones. And I was like, fine.
No. I don't like
fold it up.
I don't like hot tomatoes.
Sure. Same. Well, I kind of plowed through and had them anyway. And I consumed them. I didn't enjoy it, but I consumed them. But yeah, I don't like tomatoes.
Jay, can I tell you what I don't trust?
People that eat tomatoes.
Tomato soup.
Never had it.
I don't really
trust it either.
I don't get it. Maybe if I had a grilled cheese. As a dunking mechanism, sure. Like I would, as like a sauce, but I could just never take a spoon into Tomato soup.
I've had two kinds of soup in my life. I've had chicken and I've had butternut squash. I liked them both, but that's what I've had. Actually, no. When we were in Iceland, Jess, was that tomato soup we had in that? Jess and I went to Iceland together. We went to the hot spring place. They had served soup. What flavor was that soup?
Ooh, that place cleans out your pores really nicely.
I do think it was tomato soup.
Then I've had tomato soup. But that was about the bread. The bread was
yeah, they had like lava.
They cook it underground. It's cool.
It leaves you wanting. I don't get it. I don't trust tomato soup, but I'm all about tomatoes.
Well, speaking of lava bread, something else that was cut from the script was a volcano. Our friend of the show, this is true. It's a perfect segue. Friend of the show, Nick Rehak, will be on again soon. He was on again the first episode. His go-to for making a fake ending of a film is the volcano erupts. I think if he's like trying to tell somebody about how a film fake ends, and then the volcano erupts and such, which I've adopted as well. A volcano, like a fake volcano, casino like volcano, is between Larkin and Poe when they see Cyrus in the script, and it erupts as they see him.
Oh no!
How would that have even happened?
I don't know. I don't understand. But they're like standing there between like the lava and the debris. It's around them as they see Cyrus.
Does Kit Harington come out and challenge them to a fight?
Absolutely, he does. Like a 3-year-old Kit Harington. However, he would have been.
Jay, who's the person at 44 seconds in this clip?
Who is the person?
Is that a guard? Or is that who is that? Laying on the ground. Is that Garland Green?
Well, the guy the other side of Baby-O.
Yeah,
I think that's a guard because we see 2 of the guards get off. We see guards. Hang on, Earl Billings and I think Greg Collins. Those are the actors. We see them get off, helping each other get off. Guard Billy Devlin, we do not see, so that could be him. And I don't. Is he moving? Yes, he's moving. Yes, I think that's Billy Devlin. I think that's the other guard. Because I was like, did this guy die? Did a guard perish? Because not enough people died in this plane crash. Like Johnny 23 is the only person who died because of the plane crash.
Jessica, how do you think he loses his arm?
We haven't talked about that yet.
We haven't even talked about how Johnny 23 is upright, severed from his arm. How is he upright? What? Because in the script, I love this bit in the script. In the script, you only see the arm. The paramedics get on board, look down, and like recoil, and they just take the arm away and leave. The rest of him has been like pulverized into pulp enough that you can't take him away, so they just take the arm away. And the script literally has the word "ew," not from somebody saying it. This is a description of what we're seeing on screen.
That conveys a lot, though. That conveys everything.
Why couldn't they just have the propeller take him out? That would make so much more sense than his arm just going off of his body.
Because I'd always assumed that was the case, but last week we discovered that after the propeller's gone through, he is still intact.
So his arm just
disconnected. Skin just wrenched. Like, you can understand it being dislocated, but dislocated and detached.
Garland. That's it. Garland did it.
We don't see the joint. There's actually bite marks all the way around.
He got some shrapnel from the plane and cut his arm off.
And it's just perfectly enough that his body is still able to like stay upright next to the arm.
Well, Garland kind of propped him up. Just kind of placed him there after mangling, as per his name.
Oh, Garland, you silly Billy.
Garland did it. Garland did it.
And
cut his arm off and propped him up.
So I think one of these guys that is attending to the remains of Johnny 23 is Bill Cusack, brother of John, because he is in this film as Las Vegas paramedic, or just as paramedic. And I feel like this would be the scene where he is, but none of these guys look like Bill Cusack. I went through every paramedic in this scene. I checked future scenes. None of them look like Bill Cusack, but he's in here somewhere. So
it's got to be him. You give him a line.
Be one of these guys.
Keep his health insurance going for another year with SAG.
Yeah, it has to be.
Take care of your brother. Get him some residuals. Johnny C's supplying for his family. That's what it is.
So there are some other changes from the script I want to just mention. They have a callback to another line that was cut earlier of Baby-O going to pose for a barbecue after they get out. and they start describing the barbecue and what food Poe would have at the barbecue. We've had a whole barbecue chapter of this Cyrus barbecue, and it tastes good. So Poe will be serving red hot baby backs, hominy grits, black-eyed peas, pinto beans, iced tea, and beer so cold your eyes will water. That's what's being served at Poe's barbecue.
Now,
I don't know what most of those things are.
oh, okay. Let's start with my first question, then we'll have to circle back. Was this actually going to be dialogue? They were going to say all of these words? Okay. I wasn't sure if this was like a new thing, like a note.
This is in the script. Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe again these items?
Sure
that you don't know what they are?
So red hot baby backs. Is that ribs?
Yeah, baby back ribs, probably with hot sauce.
Sure. I've had those ingredients separately, but not together. Hominy grits. I've seen my cousin Vinny. I know what grits look like. I still don't understand what they are.
I love grits.
What hominy is. What's hominy?
Hominy
I could have Googled these things. I didn't.
Well, let's do it now. Hominy.
I know what hominy is. But I can't remember what it comes from. Like, I've had it before.
Let's see. What is hominy grits?
Somebody search hominy grits.
Soaking
UK,
dried corn, soaking dried corn kernels in an alkali solution to remove the outer holes. The soaked corn kernels are then dried and ground into grits. They generally have a finer texture than our stone ground grits. So it's just a different texture of grit that is being served.
Grits looks disgusting.
Oh, I love them. Put some butter and some jelly. Yeah, I love some grits.
A type of porridge made from boiled cornmeal. Hard pass.
What's next?
Where's it gone? What's next? Black-eyed peas and pinto beans.
Oh, well, that's self-explanatory.
Yes, the band and pinto beans, I assume. If the black-eyed peas are performing, I'm not going. I don't like the black-eyed peas.
I mean, that's just what they are. There's nothing extra to it. They're black-eyed peas, pinto beans.
They're just beans.
It's a type of bean.
Okay.
They're beige beans that boast an earthy taste and firm yet creamy texture after cooking. Some people associate pinto beans with black-eyed peas in certain recipes. They can easily be substituted in soups, salads, or other dishes.
Okay.
I love black-eyed peas.
I know what iced tea is. Never done it.
I like my unsweet iced tea. You got to order unsweet iced tea.
That's mine too. I don't go for sweetened tea. Just unsweet tea tastes great.
Because sweet tea is like 75% sugar in the cup, and then just a little, and then 10% ice, and then just some unsweet tea.
Pepsi Max.
That's what Jay would want for sure.
No, I want Pepsi. And beer so cold your eyes will water. I can't stand beer, so I'm not going to this barbecue.
Your eyes would water, but not with joy.
Pain.
What's the most popular beer in Alabama? The most popular beer is Budweiser. So Budweiser is the most popular beer in Alabama. So he would have incredibly cold Budweiser.
Sure. I'm passing on this barbecue. I much preferred the barbecue food that you served at your wedding, Jess. That was beautiful barbecue food. I still think about regularly. Some of the best I've ever had.
Yeah, Jay was texting me about it the other day. It was kind of odd. I'm like, when did you have this?
I love barbecue food, and I still think about it. So that's from the script. Also, when Sally Can't Dance gets off the plane, we talked about the last chapter. She initially thought that they'd made it to Cindino's plane because of all the lights. Anyway, she sees a reporter and commandeers the camera and starts talking on screen about she's going to be writing a book about all this whole experience, and she's going to be on the talk shows going on Dr. Phil, Oprah, and Jerry Springer. Which is good. Which would have been nice to have that because Sally doesn't get a whole lot to do in this film.
Just goes just gets her hair pulled.
Yeah. And yes, which way too rough. Why is Larkin putting on Sally's hair like that?
Yeah, that was odd.
It's clear which inmate that is. It's not like it's definitely not Cyrus because there's hair to pull on.
At least get Vikings. He's got a healthy head, but he's too big maybe for Poe. Poe doesn't want to pull his hair. Listen,
upsetting.
And real quick, Sally Bishop gets. Come on now, like she has to smooch
the
Poe.
kiss. Yes, that's what I was getting to.
Come on,
Okay.
That kiss.
Yeah,
Come
I need
on,
to
get
talk
out
about
of here.
this too.
Get out of here.
It's not-
You are a badass person. You don't need to be smooching on Poe. It's odd.
I also feel like this is such a movie trope that
Yeah.
like the woman kissing the guy's cheek, like no. People, I mean, I've never been like through such a harrowing situation, but I wouldn't kiss someone on the cheek for it. Like
It's going to be bloodied and dirty and not unhygienic for one thing. But imagine the roles were reversed and it was like a mixed inmate flight somehow, and Sally Bishop got off at the Carson City, and Falzon was there the whole time. And at the end here, Falzon and her having this, and then Falzon gives him a peck on the cheek. Not going to happen. Like, there's been no kind of... Right, me too. That would be great.
And Cole Meany on the other side. He gets a double smooch from Cole Meany and Falzone.
Yeah, there's been no hint of romance or anything between Harmon and Bishop the whole flight. I'm not saying this is a romantic kiss, but this is just... there's more to her in the script where we find out she hasn't got any kind of relationship. She just has cats. So this just feels like sadder, even still. How do they cut that from? This just feels awkward. I hate this kiss. It doesn't.
Get it out of here.
And it's straight after he's like, "Yeah, I got to go see my wife and kid. Stay away from me, woman."
Yeah, it just, and I mean, she doesn't get to do a whole lot in the movie. I could have seen her maybe do slightly more ass kicking at some point. But you also like never get the impression that she's like overly sentimental either. So it just feels like, oh, we need this to happen. We need to throw this in.
Yeah, she hit Cyrus in the face with a gun, and she punched a knocked out Johnny 23, her two main action beats. And you could argue that the whole plane takeover was her fault because she let Pinball take her keys.
Oh my gosh.
Early on, if you wanted to go down that route, which we don't like to do. So,
she was in Total Recall, though.
She's in Turbulence the same year.
But come on now, don't Total. I still want that Falzone smooch now.
Yeah, that would be great. But yeah, the kiss not in the script, and her little joke of next time, take the bus. In the script is take the train. Which I think bus is funnier.
We could have a Con Air 2 Dark Territory.
Yeah, and then Con Air 3. Scumbus. Back to the UK remake of Scumbus.
Yeah, we came up with a remake of Con Air called Scumbus with Norbert Morvan.
It's set in the UK.
Oh,
it's on a bus, a double-decker bus.
Yeah,
Scumbus.
And it goes from Wales down south and up to Scotland.
You said hijacking. That could be a name, like it could be high because it's a plane jacking, not just HI, like hijacking. Sorry, I just thought about that because I remember you said hijacking earlier. I'm like, that could be a knockoff of this movie called Hijack.
And the character is called Jack King.
Oh,
Jacking.
Hijacking.
And he's snorting cocaine the whole time.
Yeah, there we are.
This ripping on it's
Sure.
Played by who Ray Liotta could star as Jack King.
Ooh,
Pacino.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza.
That writes itself.
Aubrey Plaza could smoke cocaine for an entire movie, I think.
I'm sure she absolutely could, yeah. There's a deleted scene in this section as well where when Sally gets off the plane, she's like, "Oh, men in uniform." Just like the fact that she's been surrounded by men wearing uniform the entire day, all day. But fun. And in the script, it describes Larkin and Malloy exploding out of their helicopters upon landing. He's like, does not explode out of his helicopter. It's quite an awkward clamber, I found.
Yeah, there's no explosions.
When his Cobra lands. Yeah.
I can't remember why was Baby O in prison?
Unclear. Never found out. We have our theories, but it's never confirmed. Our theory is that he's supposed to be the worst of the worst, but he's like a nice guy, so you got to make it like a good thing. So our theory was he was trying to steal some insulin from a pharmacy because he has diabetes. I don't know if it's mentioned in the film at all. And it's like an indictment on the US health system. But he breaks into the wrong place and he ends up like blowing up the whole police chief's family. And so there's like a police chief has a vendetta against me. He's never getting out of prison. He's gonna stay there forever. Just because he made this silly mistake.
Oh, poor baby O.
Yeah.
Also,
it's gonna be a long time before one of those parole letters with my name. When it's like, what did you do? What did you do, man? What a roofie! What did you do?
So I assume that he does survive because we don't have anything to believe.
We see him.
On the contrary, but
yeah, we have to. This is the last we see him. But yeah, sure. He got his insulin. He then immediately got shot. But then he got into an ambulance just after being in a plane crash. So he's definitely going to survive.
Yeah, he's going to live for probably the next 200 years based on how durable he is. Yeah.
Rough day for Baby
O. That's the alternate title of this movie, A Rough Day for Baby O. Con Air 4.
I mean, the film from his perspective is kind of terrible. He's like gets on a plane. He doesn't get off because he misses out on the whole Lerner airfield. He just gets to sit there while Johnny 23 tries to rape Todd Bishop, and then he can't help. And then he gets out, and he gets shot, and then he gets in an ambulance. Rough day for Baby O.
A bad day at Baby O, not Black Rock. A bad day at Black Rock. Have you seen that movie?
Yes. Actually, no, I haven't. That's on my list. I've seen a different film. I can't remember the name of.
Jay's on 4 hours of sleep, y'all.
Yeah,
he's doing great.
It's been a rough day for Jay over there.
Hey, that's another movie. A Rough Day for Jay.
It's a much more boring day. It involves cleaning up dog vomit and painting a fence.
Better than Baby O.
Sure, yeah. So, Jess, do you have any more thoughts on this chapter or Con Air as a whole?
Looking over my notes, I think we covered everything. I will just say one other thing about Johnny 23's arm hanging. That is pretty cool. Like, that is a good ending to that character. And like, it's because you've followed the tattoo has been like a talking point throughout the movie. It does have like a very cool wrap up to that. And I don't know. I just like that. He could have gone out several ways, but the fact that like the tattoo is the focus of his demise was pretty well done.
If you could have a prop from the film, would you like a hanging Johnny 23 arm as like a light fixture or something?
I'm gonna pass.
Sure, that makes sense. That's clearly like a fake hand. That's in someone's house somewhere.
I want the shirt with the Sharpie written message on it.
Yeah.
Like that. What prop would you pick? I take the Rock.
You take the Rock, yeah.
What's that? That's the Rock.
That would go great in my garden.
That's the Rock from Con Air. Wait, are you talking about the Rock? No.
It's Con Air. I mean, the bunny's the obvious one. I don't want the bunny because that's too obvious.
No,
I mean, of all of Cage's stuff,
I would take it.
Yeah, of all of Cage's films, I want the string of pearls from the green gas, whatever it's called, sarin gas, whatever it is from The Rock. From this one, I mean, I don't hate the hanging arm. You can make it into some kind of a flower thing, have like roses sewed around it, but that's like no, let's not do that. That's
You would keep the severed arm of a rapist character from a movie
as like a reminder of he's dead. I'd turn it into like a light pole or something.
I would take the pinball machine from Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah. Pinball's lunchbox. That's what I'd have from this one. I'd take Pinball's lunchbox so he doesn't get where his clip.
Have you all talked about, is that Nick Cage's actual hair, or was he wearing a hairpiece for that luscious mullet of his?
It had to be because he bounced.
Really a mullet, but
he bounced between this and Face Off, so I think it might have been extensions.
Because you could take that, Jay. You could pop that bad boy on, when you're going out on the town.
I put it on my dog.
Jay, you know how much confidence you would have if you put that on going about
not
town?
At all. Not a darn thing.
It would go so well with your tank top and jeans,
Mm-hmm.
light wash jeans.
I do not own a tank top. I've never worn a tank top.
Jay, you just show up at work and just take 2 chairs, 2 desks, and everyone just lets you because the hair just speaks for itself.
I already have 2 desks. I've already commandeered a second desk.
Nice.
Someone left.
You could take 3 desks. You could have a fort. Okay. You could build a fort with that hair. Like a little cubicle to sleep in.
Okay. Apparently, it is a wig. Just to confirm. Good. Great. Well, Mark, did you have any more thoughts on this, Jabson?
No, this was wonderful. And really,
me neither.
This is great.
Yes. I mean, this is the first time I've realized that there's like 5 female characters in this film, and 2 of them are called Sally. So I've never clicked on that before.
What? Oh my gosh. Well, it is hard to think of women's names, so
yeah. And Sally can't dance. Her born name is Salvatore Candoza. So that's where they get that from, with Candoza can't dance. Anyway.
Oh, I have one other thing.
Sure.
So I love how every character in this movie has got to have a nickname. Even Monica Potter is Hummingbird.
Yeah.
She's got to have a nickname.
Hummingbird. What's little Casey's nickname?
Oh, Nick Cage's accent too.
Beautiful, glorious, perfect, outstanding.
I mean,
beyond reproach.
In a way, it's outstanding. In another way, I laughed constantly.
Do you think this movie would be as memorable if he did a regular Cajun accent? Just Cage. Do you think this movie has had such a life because of his accent? Because people continuously talk about, you know what I mean? Like, do you think it
contributes a lot?
Yeah.
Part of it is the hair. It's like 10%, 5% the jacked muscles, and then like 45% hair, and then 50% accent. That's what this role is.
See, I feel like he has a bunch of other films that are iconic and have gone down in history where he, like in The Wicker Man, he doesn't have much of an accent. He's just Nick Cage. And that's but that's ridiculous. That's lunacy. That's like 85% terrible script. The bees, not the bees, as seen cut from the UK version.
How do you take one of the best movie? I mean, I like that they made some interesting changes, but oof, that's bad.
Yeah, the Wicker Man remake is diabolical.
I will say his accent in Color Out of Space takes me way out of the movie more than the one in Con Air.
What kind of accent is that?
Well, he starts doing these really weird inflections that don't feel because I can't even do it. I couldn't even try.
But it's not like a regional dialect.
No, it's his dialogue. His inflection takes you right out. So at least he's like his inflection changes through the movie. So at least in this one, he's always a genteel Alabamian, just trying to get back to his hummingbird.
I love it so much. Well, Jez, do you have anything you want to plug?
It's better than Ray Spall's accents or Benedict Cumberbatch.
Sure, better than Brendan Gleeson's similar accent in. It's the same accent, same year. Terrible. Anyway, yes, plugs. Anything to promote?
I would just say if you haven't listened to the Lighthouse episode from the Deep Blue Sea podcast, that Jay and I had a great time discussing that movie. And there's some great accents in that movie. So
that was an excellent episode. You should also listen to the episodes on 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, and Sphere, also featuring Jess. She is our second most frequent guest over on Deep Blue Sea podcast after Nick Reed, who has more than about double your episodes.
I love 47 Meters Down. I love both those movies.
Great films. I like them too. Excellent. Well, thank you, Jess.
Cave sharks. Cave sharks.
Blind cave sharks. Blind fish.
Yeah,
Screaming fish.
Movies, Films, and Flicks, Deep Blue Sea. Go to YouTube, type in fandom, go to their page, go to their playlist, click by the numbers. And I have a episode where I watched 120 Chris movies and figured out who the best Chris was. And then I also watched the Fast and Furious movies and then wrote about all the stats from Fast and Furious movies. So go watch those.
There is no one called Chris in the Fast movies. That's terrible. How have they made it this far with no Chris's?
Ludacris.
No. just no. His name is Chris Bridges, I know.
Yeah.
But,
yes.
But Jessica with Luda Chris, no, immediately.
No, yes. I'm gonna run around the house after that line because it's amazing. Yes. He's the best, Chris. He's from Atlanta.
Deep Sea podcast, we're doing Deep Sea adjacent films, like The Lighthouse and that kind of thing. Life versus Film is my personal site. You can hear me occasionally hosting movie trivia over on Lampity, over on the Lamcast. It's always a fun time there. So thank you for Con Air Chapter 37. Thank you once again to our guest, Jess Manzo.
Thanks for having me.
I've been Jake Lewitt.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
Come back next week or the bunny gets it.
Sigh.
And Nora!